she's another one I ran into at Sinister Fest last year. And she had a couple really good looking movies on Blu-ray. So I picked them up and we've watched them. And I actually didn't even look up some of their movies she did. I did at the time, but now I forgot them. But what'd you think? We watched two: Coven of the Black Cube and XXXmas, which you can tell by the title that it's a very clean PG movie. Maybe a few scenes have a little nudity.
It's ironic that we're talking about this because I think just yesterday or the day before I came home and my son was telling me he had watched a movie called Crackoon that she is in. Uh,
Oh,
he was doing all of the drug-based animal movies, Cocaine Bear,
really?
Crackoon. There were a couple others that he had come across.
It's good to do themes.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I was going to ask though if the XXXmas Christmas, if you and Price watched that one together, because that would probably be a little uncomfortable, mostly for him.
We didn't. So, as far as the films go, Coven of the Black Cube, it was the lower budget of the two. I think it was about $6,000 as opposed to Triple Xmas, which clocked in about just shy of 100K.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me stop right there because
Okay.
Coven of the Black Cube. 'Cause there's a couple things I've noticed with these indie movies and the last that we watched. But the one comment I was going to make on Coven of the Black Cube, it's got some shortcomings. There's some things I do like about it, but the production of it, the way the film angles were, the look of it, the overall. One of the things I've brought up before is you get indie films. A lot of times you get a scene that's really over bright, one that's really dark, and the sound quality. I thought that part of that movie was very well done. The scenes, the way they were shot, the angles, the lighting, the sound, I thought that was pretty well done. But I honestly don't see how the XXXmas costs so much more than the Black Cube.
We can start with just the overall film quality. Coven of the Black Cube was shot on a very inexpensive piece of equipment.
Yeah.
And Triple Xmas was shot on a high-end 4K kind of camera.
Okay. And I'll have a comment on that in a minute.
And then you also had it's not like anyone super famous, but like Felicia Rose was in Triple Xmas, and we knew her from Victor Crowley. So
Right.
you probably it had a bigger. I want to say it had a bigger professional cast.
Okay.
Because you had a lot more actors with a lot more lines who seemed to actually be people who worked in the industry. Coven of the Black Cube, you had like concert goers and people in the bar and things like that who I'm sure were just friends that they were like, hey man,
Oh,
can
I'm
you
in a
come in
movie.
here and dance around kind of thing. That stuff piles up over the
I
course of a
guess, yeah.
production.
And it's funny you say about the actual screen actors because there's that joke in there about I've still got my Screen Actors Guild card until I've got my SAG card. Yeah, I thought that
Yeah.
was cute.
I think the big difference for me between the two is that Coven of the Black Cult was telling a serious story,
Mhm.
with a little humor thrown in here and there. And Triple Xmas was much more of a farcical look at the industry itself.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I honestly I liked some of the characters in the Triple Xmas. I thought they were her character Mambo or whatever his name
Mamba,
was, Mamba. Yeah, I thought they were pretty good characters. Of course, then you got the one guy who was just like, "All right, let's do this." You know,
yeah,
he reminded me of the dude in the Victor Crowley with the plane that was always, and that now the ace pilot that was that same type of
yeah,
character.
yeah. The tour guide. Triple Xmas was directed by and written by a guy named James Dean.
And you get the written directed by a lot.
Yeah, yeah. In films like this, he's only done 4 other films that he has right now. Maniac Nun on a mission to kill Leo Fontaine.
Long
Fontaine and
title.
the Vengeful Nun Who Wouldn't Die. Apparently, that's like
A sequel.
Yeah.
I got to see that one.
And Absolution. He's got a film coming out called My Blade Is Your Salvation. It's in pre-production. In other words, it's just getting started with that.
And it's indie. Most of these people have day jobs. So this is a passion thing a lot of times. And so instead of getting 2 months of straight filming, they get an evening or a weekend whenever they can get the right people together to go do a scene somewhere.
Yeah.
That's the common.
I think Covenant of the Black Cube was done by Bruce Longo, and he actually has 5 pieces out there, but nothing upcoming with him as the director. He actually acted in Covenant of the Black Cube. He was like a bartender in it, just filling a role really.
Yeah.
He's more of a producer. He's got 15 producer credits, including an upcoming project called Joel D. Wingcoop's Beast Mode, which is done. That one's actually done. But he also has Bloodsick Psychosis, A Corpse for Christmas, Pumpkin Man Lives, and Vic and Tarstar's Scarecrow Factory. So they're both working, but I think they're both like super early in their careers. Like James Dean's first director credit came in 2019,
Oh,
and
yeah.
Bruce Longo's first director credit came in 2022. So
Oh, geez.
yeah, I don't know what their age is or anything like that, but they're just now getting into the actual industry itself. So
Yeah. I must say that, so the things in general that I've noticed with a lot of these, because we watched multiple of these local independent small films now, besides the lighting and sound, which will pull you out of things quick, a lot of these written and directed by, I feel have the same problem Lucas was accused of and does have, where I wrote the story, this is what we're doing, and that's the end of it. If you get somebody that knows story, a developmental type editor, to go over the story and say, look, this needs rearranged a little bit, or this scene's a little long. It needs, because that was the one thing with Covenant of the Black Cube. There were multiple scenes that seemed way too long for what they were trying to get across, especially some of the dialogue. It could have been tightened down a little bit. And I think just doing that, adjusting the story and shortening a few scenes would have made the movie way better without changing anything else. I just think younger directors or whatever, they're not sometimes as focused on the story, or they think they have a great story, but you get another pair of eyes going through it going, yeah, no, hold on. Not that it was
yeah,
horrible, but
it also I thought it ended super abruptly.
yeah, like
They had
they,
this story that was developing over time, and then all of a sudden, like climax, and then boom, they were.
and it was a little throughout a little jarring because it's Covenant of the Black Cube, but we really didn't hear anything about the witches to almost halfway through. There were some hints about it and stuff, but it wasn't, the story really didn't focus and center on this whole witch thing. There was too much focus on her love affair and that and the band, and there were multiple small subplots that took up way more time than the stuff about the witches.
Yeah, Morgan Thompson Milam though, I thought she did a good job in both of them.
Yes.
She's been at this. I don't want to say she's been at this for a while because she started in 2017, I think, doing a couple shorts, but in that time she's done 35 titles from then
Wow.
until now. So she's working a lot,
Yeah.
and she's got 11 upcoming projects.
Wow.
Like I'm trying to find okay, Ouija Slumber Party is in post production. Slaughter on the Set is in post production. Tales of the Forgotten Act 2 is in post production. I think one of the big differences between her and Neild, who we discussed earlier, is that Morgan really seems to be like the scream queen. There's no like, action or drama in this. She is specifically horror movies.
Yeah, and I did appreciate the Coven one because I'd mentioned before, it seems like a lot of these indies are based on a slasher movie. So it's nice to see that they're not all like that, that there was trying to do something else at least. But yes, I thought she did a good job the acting, because like all of it, there's a few people in there that are pretty good acting and a few that aren't. And even some of them, like I said, may have been come across a little better with some changes to dialogue or changes to scene.
And kudos to the directors too, because from watching these two, the people who had the lion's share of the dialogue and stuff were the better actors.
Yeah, yeah,
You had, like I said, Triple Xmas had a big cast with a lot of lines. Coven of the Black Cube had a decent sized cast, but again, not a whole lot in the way of speaking parts. But they saved the speaking parts for the people who could actually perform them.
yeah, yeah. And you'll get that, and I'm sure some of these people too, if they stick with it, they're going to get better regardless.
For sure.
But yeah,
I mean,
Morrigan herself, I thought she did a fantastic job.
yeah, yeah, nothing there to really criticize in her performance. And she's also worked with Felicia Rose on other projects too. So she's, I don't want to necessarily say she's going to show up at Adam Green's Spooky Sleepover anytime soon. Because you have mainstream actors, and then you have the not so mainstream actors, and then you have the independents. And she's, it seems to me, she's on that edge of
On the
going from,
climb.
on the way up. But
Yeah. And a lot of these people, if you look, she's got a lot, she does a lot of cosplay stuff. She dresses up as different characters and does a lot of that. So I know Lisa shows up at a lot of conventions, not as cosplay, as a scream queen, horror, blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
But I think Morrigan might do the same thing. When we talk to her, we'll have to ask her if she does. Because that's a getting into conventions as the cosplay with your movies. And if the director or other actors are there, that's how you start getting the word out nowadays.
yeah.
All right. So a couple more movies we'll put some links to in the show notes and that. And maybe I'll go grab some of her other movies to link to if I can find some versions of them.
Again, Price found Raccoon all on his own.
Yeah,
So
good. Good.
maybe Tubi, maybe Amazon Prime. I don't know, but
I know
Amazon Stream. So.
I actually have seen Raccoon somewhere, maybe Tubi. When I was doing some other search, it showed up. I might have actually been looking for Cocaine Bear because Colin and I saw that one actually in the theater. It's fun. It's got its moments.
Yeah.
So,
Sure.
all right. So I'll try and get in touch with Morgan and we'll paste on to this and talk to someone that's been in the movies.
Cool.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.